just for a couple minutes for that show we call On Air with Russell of Hotels. Everyone's talking about it. As you can see, I have my dear friend here, Miss Michelle Carlin here. She's going to be our guest today. I just want to make sure that yes, we are. We are live on LinkedIn. We are live on YouTube. So this is kind of like the monologue section first, right? Before I do the intro. So Michelle's right here to my right. She's muted right now, but we're going to come back and after the intro, and we're going to start the show. And it's going to be fire. So make sure you come back because she has a lot of good information. Now Michelle is like, I'm not sure if you guys remember the Johnny Carson show back in the day. Michelle has been on here probably 5 times, probably like Joan Rivers. I don't know if you remember, Joan Rivers had been on the show like 100 and something times over the course of the 20-year period that Johnny Carson ran. Michelle's been on here 5 times, and I've only been going on for about 3 years. So there you go. But that's a good thing because she comes with a wealth of experience. And when we talk about, aligning your company or your business, she puts me in alignment all the time. Even if I don't ask for it, she's put me in alignment. So there you go. So I'm going to put you on hold for 1 second, and then we're going to do the intro, and then we'll be right back. So be patient with me, and here we go.
Welcome to On Air with Russell of Hotels, where we talk about everything hospitality, from hotels to influencers and everything in between. We will feature guest interviews with hospitality professionals who will share their experiences. Your host, Russell Edmond, has spent over 25 years in the hospitality industry, beginning his career with Marriott International in hotel operations before moving into the sales arena and becoming a relationship building director of sales and marketing. Russell then went to the other side as a hospitality entrepreneur. He now consults in the hotel and meeting space, which includes being the CEO of Russell of Hotels Group. Did I mention he was a veggie foodie? Yes. Russell is always looking for good non-meat eats. Please welcome your host, Russell Edmond.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels live hospitality talk show. I do appreciate you. I don't take it lightly that people actually come on and listen to this. Today is Tuesday, November 14th, 2023, and it's show number 228. Man, I was trying to research, which shows, the number of shows that Michelle had been on, but I can't remember. But anyway, she was there, like when in the infant stages of this show when we first started. So she was probably, if she wasn't number one, but she was in the probably top three. She was probably the top three guests that I had coming on. So, but she has a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge, and she just been, went from being like a colleague, to a friend, to, someone that gives you advice when you don't want it kind of thing. So, but anyway, that's just how it is. And that's good though, because sometimes we need things, we don't know what we need until someone mentions it to us. Okay. So, but anyway, as you can tell, we're going to have fun today. But no, thank you so much, Michelle. I see Lonnie Wolf. Once again, the chat is open, so please feel free to make comments. I do appreciate it. I see Lonnie Wolf. He says, good afternoon. I will put these on the screen. I'm not sure if Michelle can actually see these comments on the screen. She can. Good afternoon, Russell Hotels, Michelle. In the house, yes, 228. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then I see Paula C. Paula C is out there. Now, Lonnie's in Florida, and then Paula C is in Brazil. Okay, so yes, we're international here. I don't know if you guys knew that, but we're definitely an international show. So before I get Michelle on here, what I'm going to do is read her rather lengthy bio that, she just, once again, she told me I had to read it. Okay. So I tried to get out of it, but no, it's not that long. But it just may take me, how I read. It may take me a while to get through it, but Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna read the bio and then we're gonna bring Michelle on. Michelle Carlin is the founder and president of Alignment Advising. With over 2 decades of career experience, she is dedicated to helping businesses by creating long-term strategy, growing. See, there you go. See that's what I'm saying. Growing sales and revenue, implementing process improvements, developing organizational infrastructure, and improving the client and employee experience. She also helps individuals advance their professional development and gain clarity, confidence, and direction along their career path. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration from none other than California State Polytechnic University in Pomona. I know that college very well because, hey, I went there as well. So, but Michelle and I didn't know each other. She's older than I am, so she probably got out long before I did. But with professional experience in hospitality, travel, tourism, and property management, Carlin has cultivated a diverse expertise in representing and supporting a variety of business types and managing diverse teams. Carlin applies her unique ability to dial into what prevents businesses and individuals from attaining optimal performance and has a passion for translating those findings into strategic planning and practical solutions. Yes, she does. I definitely can concur on that. She quickly pulls direction and establishes order from parts that seemingly don't connect and brings them into superior working alignment. So just like your car may be out of alignment, you need the adjustment. That's if your business is out of alignment. That's what Michelle does. She helps you bring everything into alignment. So without further ado, sorry I butchered that intro, but thank you so much for Michelle for coming on again. But without further ado, Miss Michelle Carlin.
Thank you, Russell.
You're welcome.
It's so great to be here again. Is this my 5th time or 6th time?
Oh, see once again. It may be your 6th time then. If you say it, I'm gonna believe you because I maybe I forgot, but it's been at least 5 times. Say at least 5.
Well, it's just a joy to be here with you. I can't wait for our dialogue today because I think it's going to be pretty exciting, is my feeling. And the first show that I was on was actually in 2020, and it was before the pandemic started. So I went to your studio, and
wow.
I met you in the studio in February 2020.
Okay, so you may have been like the second guest then, because I started at the end of January. So if at the end of January.
Didn't you start in 2019?
I started in 2019.
Yeah, but
you said your first show was in 2020? Oh,
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? It doesn't matter because you're one of those guests that keeps on coming and keeps giving us good information and you're timely and business trends and all that kind of stuff. And that's the good thing. That's the part that I like about you. And like I said, you give me advice even when I don't want it, but that's okay. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So don't think it's a bad thing. That's when you become friends, when you start giving advice when you don't ask for it.
Russell, I will tell you, I gently share information with you is what I do. And you take it as advice because that's what it is. But I do it in a gentle way.
Yeah, you do. No, you do. You do. But thank you so much. I see Mr. Walter Moore. It's been a long time, sir. He says, looking good, Russell. Okay, I'm trying to stay on top of things.
Yeah,
Mr. Walt, appreciate you. He's out there in Arizona. At least I think he's still in Arizona. I was in Arizona last week. But anyway, that's another conversation for another time. But let's kind of get into this because you haven't been on the show since it's been at least a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well over a year. And I see a lot of things that you do because you post things on LinkedIn, just like we're posting this on LinkedIn. We're creating content right here on LinkedIn, right? So you create a lot of content and I look at it. You may not think I look at it. I may not make comments on it all the time, but I do look at it because every now and then, just so you guys know, every now and then Michelle will email me or just text me and say, "Did you get what I sent? Did you see what I sent via email?" And I'm like, "Yes, Michelle, I did see it. Okay, I think this would be good for you." That kind of thing. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. So that's a good thing, right? Those are good things, and I do appreciate it. So, okay, journey to entrepreneurship. But we all know all of us have got into this, arena for whatever reason. So, what was your journey to starting Alignment Advising?
All right. Well, so I spent 25 years in the tourism hospitality marketing space working for destination marketing organizations, just so folks tuning in can understand my background. And my expertise is all things business, right? Marketing, business development, sales, even some finance, believe it or not, membership, PR, and making all those things work. And my journey to entrepreneurship started in 2019. So I hit a major crossroad in my career, one that was very difficult for me to go through. And what happened was I had lost my job unexpectedly. And I thought, hey, I could go work for another DMO. I could get the same level position. And I took that opportunity to take a step back, Russell, and look at what was it that I was really doing? What value was I providing to the places that I had represented and worked for all of those years? And so I went into this introspective process of determining what my skill set was besides what I was trained to do, which was marketing and sales, essentially. And I realized one of the things that I was doing was mentoring people, training teams of people, helping people communicate better in the workplace. And I wanted to take that to my business while also doing a lot of the same things like writing marketing plans, doing strategic planning, just things along those lines. So I literally did so on a part-time basis. I got a part-time consulting opportunity. And as I did that, I started creating my brand, Alignment Advising. So that's how I started. And then the pandemic came not too long after that. And it was quite a time, but here I am. And that's a very quick summary of what's taken place, Russell.
That sounds good. I'm sorry, I muted myself. I don't want people to hear me breathing while you're talking. But no, that's good. I mean, everybody has a story for why they started their business and things like that. I mean, and I think I shared with you before that. I mean, your journey was similar to mine, where some similar circumstances had happened to me as well, and just you get to that point where you always had in the back of your mind that you wanted to try something on your own. And sometimes I think a lot of times we're thrown into that situation where and then we got to sink or swim. We got to figure it out. But we don't come without being armed with a lot of experience. It's just that sometimes we have doubt about how can I put this experience out, the experience that I have amassed over these years. How do I put this out in a way that people are going to want to use me or, consult with me or have conversations with me or whatever. So, but no, I know, hey, that was quick and brief, but it was to the point. So no, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So, I mean, for people that don't know, I'm going to bounce around a little bit because I may not even jump on what she just said. I may jump on something else and then come back to that. But you mentioned the pandemic, okay? Now, have things changed, say, during the pandemic as far as how we communicate, how we connect with people, and related to your business, aligning a business or aligning someone to get kind of focus, if you can do that?
That is a great question. So I think that we did change how we communicate as a culture because we were forced to. So we couldn't actually physically be with people, although some of us were, against all recommendation by the government. I got to throw that in there. And so we were forced to utilize technology. I think experts said something like we advanced technologically by like 5 to 10 years in a matter of months. People got online, they started learning all these different systems like Zoom and all these, conferencing platforms and so forth, and more people getting into social media because that was how they needed to promote their business. So I think people in general, they were able to shift. And so one of the things that I think is really important when we're talking about alignment is we have to, as humans, we have to be pushed to make change, right? We tend to resist it. And because it's uncomfortable, I guess is my conclusion, that we don't like to be uncomfortable. We're creatures of comfort and creatures of habit. And so when we're pushed in these parameters that are unfamiliar to us, we then grow, which is the whole premise of my company, is looking at your business or looking at you as a professional and what your skill set and your expertise is. You're not going to get to that next level, and yes, unless you're in a situation where you need to grow. Okay. And that means different constraints are being put on you that you may not expect, or perhaps it's a situation at work that presents itself that you're unfamiliar with how to navigate. These are the things that cause us to learn, and leading it back into, do we communicate differently? Yes, we did. Although I'm noticing now that we're out of the pandemic, Russell, people are trying to go back to what was before the pandemic, which is they're busy rushing around. They're going to events. They're going from place to place. And they are, in my opinion, forgetting the value of having some stillness and some, ability to kind of hone in on some things that they're uncomfortable with, right? So when we were at home during the pandemic, we had to figure out how to use snail mail again. I got so many letters from people, handwritten notes. I was like, this is awesome. Do I get handwritten notes now? Maybe once in a blue moon. So we've kind of fallen back into pre-pandemic communication mode, which is like everything's this. It's very, very hectic. And one of the things that I promote with my business is that you have to take a step back from that at times. It's okay to be busy, but within reason. And I would love to chat more about that, but that was kind of a long answer to your question.
No, that was good. I like that. I like that. So what do you okay, so say someone does go back to that pre-pandemic, the way of communication. Is that necessarily a good thing or bad thing? I mean, how,
Well, I think, everything's quick, right? Everything's at the touch of a button, and a lot gets lost in that kind of interaction and communication. So picking up the phone and talking to someone, or, just being here visually with you is awesome. It's great to be in person, but I think a combination of, really having some time that's dedicated, or being in the moment, being present with who you're talking to and what you're doing, and not trying to multitask. Our culture tends to idolize multitasking. It's actually not physically possible to multitask. So that gets, into our communications, and we're not really focused on what's going on. And that's actually where we lose alignment. We get misaligned because we're not actually present.
Okay. I like that. I like that. So, okay. First of all, I want to just let people know this is Michelle Carlin. She's with Alignment Advising. I'm just asking some questions. We're just having a conversation. So just remember, this is not an interview. I don't interview people. We have conversations. It's not about, I'm not looking for a job and she's not looking for a job. So I'm not interviewing her. Okay. She's not interviewing me. So this is just conversations about, entrepreneurship, how alignment advising can play a role in your business, in your entrepreneurship journey, if you will. And once again, I'll say that I have Michelle we both have consulted with each other, meaning she has given me advice on certain things from website design or my content within the website to just, like I said, just random stuff that she sees that I do. And she says, hey, you may want to think about this. You may want to think about that. So it's important that, we have people like this on our team, if you will, within our circle, within our village, however you want to put it. It's important that we have these teams of people that can assist us when we need assistance. And it's not for free, okay? It's still consult, because there's a fine line. I always tell people this because, consultation, there's a fine line between communication or conversation and consultation. Okay, there's a fine line between that, right? And I understand the line, right? So it's important. I just want to throw that out there because sometimes we get involved and we start having conversations with people that are consultants that can help our business out, and we think that because we're friends or because whatever, we need to get this information for free. No, that's not how it works. What do you think about that? Because, like I said, once again, if there's people that listen, they know I kind of jump around a lot. So I'm going to jump around and just ask you that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's great. In my experience in my business for the last 4 years, almost 4 years, Russell, I work with a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs, people who are running companies that essentially have 10 employees and less. And now I even forgot what your question was. What do I think about?
Well, what I said was how I started
free
this
consulting,
was
free advice. That is okay. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay.
So in working with entrepreneurs, what I find is they are expected by people to give free advice for some reason. I'm not sure what the reason is, but one of the things that I train people on is knowing your value and knowing your worth as a business owner and asking for what you're worth, right? You should once in a while throw in something for free. But your experience and the time that you spent in your industry, whatever that might be, is of value, right? You don't just throw it out there like it's a piece of trash and someone can pick it up, because it's not. It's like gold. Right? So you've worked so hard to get to where you are. Don't undersell yourself. So that's one of the things that I do advise on, is helping business owners and even professionals in the workplace, if they're in a corporate job, is know your value, know how to show up for that, know how to articulate that to others. And people won't expect things for free. But when you start off and you're just giving away things for free, then it's really hard to get out of that.
Yeah, I agree, because I was in that, kind of with some clients, I'm still in that situation where it's hard to, because, with hotel site selection, I'll just throw that out there. With hotel site selection, we depend on hotel site selection people or meeting planners depend on the hotel to pay us the commission, right? Well, even before you get to that point, the client still is picking your brain for information that they don't know that right? That you've worked umpteen years to amass this information, right? Or this knowledge, and to share it. And sometimes they want that knowledge for free. And so what I started doing, and some people know this and some people don't, is that there's a, what do I call it? A sourcing fee. I charge a sourcing fee for my clients before I start sourcing for their meetings, because this is the thing. And I may be going off on a tangent, getting away from what you're saying, but it kind of ties into what we're talking about as far as giving information for free, especially if you're a consultant. So I give a lot of information. I was giving a lot of information about, okay, this hotel, that hotel, whatever. And then and I started charging. So say at the first of the year, I started charging this whatever fee that, before I start sourcing, I'm asking for this whatever fee. Like, well, why are you doing that? What do you mean? I said, and I had to stop this person from talking. I said, do you get paid every 2 weeks? And she said, yes. And I said, okay, I don't get paid until this meeting actualizes. So if we're talking about a meeting in 2 years, I don't get paid for 2 years from this sourcing, right? So you're asking me all this information. I'm creating RFP, I'm communicating with the hotel who I build a relationship with. I'm familiar with this particular hotel, your program, all these kind of things that I'm familiar with. So I think it's only fair that I charge you X in order for us to get this ball rolling. And at first, the lady, she pushed back. But, 2 days later, and I said, that's fine. And I said, that's fine because I'm not for everybody and everybody's not for me. That's exactly how I phrased it. And 2 days later, she called me back and says, I understand where you're coming from. And she apologized, right? And I'm saying, we don't have to apologize. I'm just letting you know that the information I have, I'm as free with my information as I can be, but I have to be compensated for it because there's information that I know that you have no knowledge of. So when it comes to contracts, you're going to sign things or you've been signing things that you've been responsible for and you didn't even know. So those are the things that, the expertise that certain people can bring. But like I said, certain other people don't want to pay it. So, but like I said, I'm jumping around, but I just wanted to make sure I made it a point to basically, I can't ask you a question without me, kind of defending the question I asked you either. So,
well, as you said, we're having a conversation, so you're not interviewing me, and I'm not interviewing you. So absolutely.
Exactly. When should we limit our intake of social media or media in general? Or should we?
We absolutely should, right? We have this, how do I call it? We have this idea, or it's like a mirage in the desert, that being online and being connected on social media causes us to be connected. That is utterly false. It is not true. Connection is about presence, right? As I shared a little bit earlier. So it's fine to be online, but do it, with intention, right? Not to just waste away your time scrolling for hours and hours because that's what happens, or watching things that don't bring you value. They don't add to you, right? They actually degrade you. So don't spend time with negative things is my point. It's fine to be accessible on the internet and on social. And it's important, especially for a business owner. At the same time, you need to take breaks because you need perspective, right? There's a lot of things online that are pushing their own agenda. There's all kinds of narratives, and you either buy into them or you don't. And you need to have a diverse source of information where you're researching things, you're either confirming that something is true or is not true, because you have to form your own opinion about things. And just seeing one article and pushing that out does not cover research, right? That's just, you saw an article and now you're pushing it out and you're making an opinion about something. And so I just ask that people be informed, take your time before you form your opinions, but it's important to take breaks because we have to develop our own perspective. Otherwise, we can get so into what everyone else thinks that it then becomes what we think.
Wow. That was pretty deep.
Russell, in case you don't know, I've got a lot of depth.
Yeah, no, you do. You do. You do. So I try to bring out the jovial side of you because I know how serious you can be sometimes. And that's good though. And that's a good thing, especially when you're, because I'll try to bring out the worst in people. I mean, meaning I'll try to bring out the jovial side. If we're consulting, although I'm paying, right? But I want to make you laugh. That's what I try to do. I try to make you laugh.
Yes, you always make me laugh. If I need someone to make me laugh, you're the person to call.
Exactly. And she always says that. She said, I needed to laugh. I needed a laugh. So she called me. So there you go.
It's true.
Before I go on to the next thing, I'm just going to look at some of the comments that I see. Robin Coleman, thank you so much. We're on with Michelle Carlin with Alignment Advising. Michelle, I agree. We need to get back to undivided attention to our guests. So Robin is, we'll just say she's a housekeeping expert. Okay, let's just say that. So everything that has to do with housekeeping, She's a consulting in the housekeeping space, right? So,
Mhm.
they're coming from a guest perspective, and I appreciate that. Mr. Lonnie Wolf says, and this is a long one. Robin Coleman, guests in my world are VIP 365. We are in the business of creating moments and earning memories. It's that simple. Okay, I got you. As I tell my clients, if you think the price of winning is too high, wait until you get the bill from regret. Oh, wow. Let me put that one up there. Did I put that one up there? Yeah, that was the one I put up there. Okay. Yes, very good, Lonnie. Thank you so much. And what did Paula C says? Hold on, let me just make sure this one disappears. And Paula C says Russell speechless. Okay, yeah, yeah. So I appreciate you guys. So yeah, keep the comments coming. Appreciate you guys for making the comments. I'll just put them up there. Let me see. So you've been busy the last, I mean, even probably the last time I even talked to you. Just kind of, can you tell us a little bit what you've been doing? You know, things that either support what you do. Well, I guess all of them support what you do.
Mhm.
What are the
Mhm.
new things that you're doing that, as a business owner or entrepreneur, can benefit from?
That your audience can benefit from?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Sorry,
Is
I
that
didn't
okay?
know.
Not just me, just the audience. Did I
That's
say that? Did I
fine.
say that
I just
wrong?
wanted to make sure I understood the question.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So, well, let's back up though for a second, Russell, because let me share a little bit about the type of work that I do. So, a lot of times I will be talking to a business owner and they're like, "Well, what exactly you do?" Okay, you do marketing strategy. What does that look like? Right? How does that relate to me and my business? So, I help with long term strategic planning, mostly from a marketing and business development perspective. So I write plans, I do audits of organizations, and are they following proper procedures and protocols within their team? Are their teams trained in sales? Are they reaching the right audiences through their marketing efforts? What does that look like? I facilitate staff retreats. I facilitate board meetings. I help people think outside the box and make things happen, right? So, a lot of times people are attending meetings and they're like, well, that was a great meeting. We had a great brainstorm, and then nothing happened, right? A year later, they're at the same meeting. I actually help you create that plan. And not only do I give you a plan, I then give you the map for how to execute the plan. And then I check back and make sure that you got results. So, those are the ways that I work with businesses. In addition to that, I work with individuals on professional development coaching, which is something that you and I have talked about a lot. And most of the people that I work with are either in a career transition, they're looking for a job promotion, or they're trying to get outside of their existing industry into another one, and they're having a hard time doing that. So I help with articulating for them what it is that they do and how that translates to another business. But then I also work with people to be better managers, better communicators, better leaders, and help create a little bit of what I call personal effectiveness. Okay, so things like, how do I manage my time better? How do I prioritize? This is my favorite. Everything's urgent, right? Have you ever gotten that from people? Like, oh my God, everything's urgent. I'm so busy. Like, I
Yeah.
know it's all
Yeah.
urgent. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not urgent. You need to learn how to identify what's most important and what's not. Okay. It takes a lot of energy to figure it out, but it works. Once you know how to do that, you can be much more effective as a professional. Okay. Everything is not urgent. Okay. People are telling you it's urgent because it's urgent for them. So I help with things like how to delegate, how to prioritize, just overall better productivity.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking. I was.
What am I working on? I didn't answer your question. So in that space, I wanted to give kind of a frame of reference for the type of work that I do for companies and individuals. But my latest is I have launched a course as of today. It's called Start Your Alignment Journey. And it is a paid program. And Russell can tell you a little bit about it, but it actually gives you the framework to really take a step back at what you're doing and what it is that you think you want to do in the future and how you want to set goals. And it gives you tools and tips for how to quickly shift your energy right now so that you can get into alignment. Okay, I'm going to say it takes a half an hour to an hour, depending on who you are. You can note take or not note take. There's a quiz at the end, but I promise you it is life-changing if you give it the attention that it needs, right? We're talking about being present. Yeah. And you don't have to do it all at once. You can break it up into sections. There's different sections, but I've launched that on my site today. If you go to alignmentadvising.com and you click on the programs menu, you can sign up for that. And then I've actually, the last 2 years, I've been hosting virtual roundtables. So I invite people, I throw out different topics. I give a brief presentation on the topics. And then we open it up for discussion and insights from the group as a whole. And it has been super, we've built a great community, and I'm actually going to be launching that next year into a different type of program. So along the same lines, but it's going to become a paid program as well. So those are some of the things that I've been working on.
Wow. Now, see, you just went over everything I was going to talk about. See, I was going to ask.
No, I didn't. I know all the other things that you have to ask.
Now, let me say that the new course that the alignment advising is doing, which she just talked about, she gave me at least, I don't know, a couple hours to look at it for free, before she, took it back from me. And it's definitely good if you have time to do it. I didn't devote enough time, to it. But it's definitely some good information in there. It takes you on a journey, a business journey. I won't tell you exactly the detail because I don't want to give anything away, but it definitely makes you think about, where you are now, where you want to go, and some of the things that you need to do along that journey. So as an entrepreneur or within your business or whatever. So it definitely is something that's worthwhile. Like I said, she's been busy doing a lot of stuff. She's doing this virtual roundtable. Now, I just signed up for the one that's on Friday. It's called 4 Pain Points of Business Ownership and How to Find Your Groove, how to get your groove back. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that should be interesting. Like I said, I just signed up for it today. It's free, right? So, of course, I'm free 99 all day long, right? So I'm trying to sign up for all the free stuff.
And soon it's a paid program and it's going to shift a little bit, but yes. Okay,
but right now I could take advantage of it right now.
Friday. Yes, it is.
Yes. So if anyone's interested in that, please feel free to go. So, okay, Michelle sends out a newsletter monthly, religiously. Okay. And sometimes maybe if I don't make a comment about it, that's when she'll call me and say, hey, did you get the latest newsletter that I sent out? I didn't see you make a comment. That's the things that I have to deal with when it comes with Michelle. Okay. So I'm like, yes, Michelle, I saw it. I'm sorry I did not respond or send a message, whatever. But no, she definitely makes sure I'm in the know as far as what's going on, because it's important. We're kind of all in this together. I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, you're kind of all in this together. And you always think that, and I'm sure Michelle can attest to this, when you are an entrepreneur, you think you're out there alone, right? There's no one else that's doing, they may not be doing exactly what you're doing, but as far as how to start a business, how to market, things like that, how to be in alignment, she understands that kind of stuff, right? Other people may understand other details of what you're dealing with, but Michelle understands if you're out of alignment, because being out of alignment is not a good thing. just think about your body. If your back is out of alignment, you got to go to a chiropractor to pop it back in alignment, right? So you can walk straight or walk without any pain or whatever. It's kind of the same thing, right? So helps you develop your business more. And I appreciate what you do, Michelle. I know we joke around, but
Oh,
I
thank you. I
appreciate
know
what you
you
do.
do. I know you like to give me a hard time. Right back at you.
Now, okay, so you do a lot of podcasts? Are you a guest on a lot of podcasts?
I peppered here and there.
Okay, I happened to catch one, and you kind of talked about this, well, maybe a little bit, but it was Women's Economic Ventures podcast, and every guest, regardless if they've been on this 5 or 6 times, like Michelle, there's certain things that pop up that I hadn't seen, right? So I happened to check out yesterday this podcast, and I thought it was great because it was information, and she talked about this a little bit at the first, how she started, how she got into entrepreneurism because of a toxic work environment kind of thing. And I said that was similar to my experience as well. So, but she was talking about it on this podcast, and I found it very just interesting and intriguing that her story, because I didn't know, I had no idea. Like I said, I've known Michelle for quite some time, and I didn't know her journey, right, to getting to where she is today. So sometimes, the worst things that can happen in our career, catapult the best things that are happening in our career. For whatever reason, we're not looking for that. We're not looking for that to be like that, but sometimes it just works like that. And I would say now Michelle is, God, she's, like I said, I see all these things that you're doing, and I can say I'm just proud of what you're accomplishing and all the things that you will continue to accomplish.
Well, that's very kind. Thank you.
There was something else I was going to ask you though. I had to do okay. And you probably can't talk anything about this, but can you talk about the roundtable discussions? Of course, you can't talk about the topic that's coming up, but can you talk about any past topics and or maybe how do you set up this particular the conversations that you talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. So I try to pick topics that I feel like professionals, again, whether you're in a corporate space, doesn't matter what industry you're in. Of course, my background is hospitality, tourism related, but I actually have clients in a variety of industries. So I focus on small business owners and what I think their challenges are, what I think they're thinking about, why they can't reach the goals that they want to reach. So I've done several, and I'll give you an example of the titles and what they were about and how it works. So one was, are you trying to do too much? And the idea is, I hear a lot of people, I'm so busy. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. I'm running around. And I'm like, why? Why are you doing that? Why are you so busy? What is causing you to be so busy? So that particular roundtable focused on if you're trying to do too much, you're not ever going to get to the goals that you actually want to accomplish because you're so busy being busy. Okay? It's an illness. It is an illness, I will tell you. It's all about mindset, right? So we tell ourselves we don't have enough time. Well, guess what? You're not going to have enough time. You just told yourself, I don't have enough time. So a lot of what I talk about are things that help you as an individual, but that translates well into your business. It translates well into your workplace culture. And it really just helps you master the self, as I call it. I've had one about how to stay motivated working from home, right? A lot of us work from home and we do it full time. So how do you make yourself motivated to continue to do that? And how it's set up is I usually do a very brief PowerPoint and I give tips and tools. Sometimes we look at TED Talks that are on the same subject matter. And then I present information. I allow questions to come up organically. And then at the very end, we all kind of exchange ideas and thoughts. And then sometimes I get feedback for like, oh, can you do another roundtable on X, Y, and Z? So that's how it works.
Okay. Okay. Very, very good. I like that. So I'm looking forward to the one on Friday. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm glad you're joining. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I try to join other ones, but for whatever
I
reason, I saw this one and it resonated with me. So when it
Okay.
resonates, then
See?
because I can't
That's
do
right.
everything, Michelle. We all know we can't do everything, right? And should we
And then
do
you try
everything?
to do
Should
too
we
much
try to
and you're
do
becoming
everything?
too busy.
Exactly, exactly. I don't want to do too much. I don't want to be in that category where Russell's just doing too much.
Yeah.
You mentioned something a while ago during this conversation, and it had to do with you meet with companies, and let me see, how can I put this? Because I just remember being on property in hotels where we had meetings to have meetings. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And nothing ever came of those
Yeah.
meetings. Like they would, and
Yeah.
you said you help them keep on task.
Yep.
Did you mention that?
I
How do you
do.
do that? Because we all know in the hotel or the hospitality industry, I mean, I'm sure this happens in the DMO world as well, is that we have all these meetings and people that really don't need to be in these meetings are in those meetings. And
Yep.
then we talk about
Yep.
all these things. And then the next week, we're talking about the same things. And like, well,
Yep.
didn't that take place already? Didn't that happen? How do you get them to I guess, to stay on task, to move on to another subject, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if I said that right.
Well, no, you did. And so I get hired to facilitate meetings, right? And to facilitate specific discussions. So I can't give away all my trade secrets, Russell. There's a method to the madness. But a lot of meetings are just meetings because there's no common goal that everyone is trying to reach, right? Either no one set an agenda, no one said, hey, I want everyone to walk out of this meeting with 1, 2, and 3, right? That doesn't happen because then people have these sidebars and they're, this and that, and they get interrupted. So what I do is I pace the meeting a certain way. I have certain questions that I go through based on whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish. And I never go into a meeting not having an ultimate goal that we want to meet, right? That's why people hire third parties, is because a third party gives an objective viewpoint to different opinions in the room, right? Not everyone at the table is thinking the same thing. And sometimes you'll find that there's a lot of conflict, right? And you need to have someone to be able to kind of referee that conversation, if you will. And that's actually what I do.
That makes a lot of sense. And that seems like something that's really needed, especially in this industry. And I'm just speaking from the hotel perspective, where I'm not a consultant. I don't do anything that you do, right? But I feel a lot of these calls from people that are frustrated about,
Yeah.
we went into this meeting and they talked about the same thing from 2 weeks ago and nothing ever gets done and things like that. I said, well, who's in charge? And I never asked what the objective of the meeting is, but you just mentioned that. Like, what is the objective? What is that person that's having that meeting? What is his or her objective? What is he or she trying to get out of that? Because there's a lot of frustration from the people, and they end up, a lot of them leave. They go somewhere else because they say, well, I can't deal with this indecisiveness. Nothing's ever getting done. They're just basically like a dog chasing their tail, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, and that's actually something else that I do is I help organizations who might be in that situation where maybe there's an employee that's underperforming or there's two colleagues that aren't getting along and it's causing things like a meeting to go awry, right? So I actually come in and I do professional development coaching. So I do one-on-one coaching with team members, but also with the leaders, right? To say, okay, here's my analysis, like almost like an audit. Here's my analysis of what is taking place. This is why you're having these, contentious conversations, right, that don't get resolved. And then you have like 500 other meetings, and it's still, again, the same meeting and nothing's changed. So that's some of the work that I do, is I help organizations identify what those roadblocks are and how do we move past them.
Wow. See, there's a lot more that I didn't know that you did, that you're just sharing with us today, or sharing with me, and hence sharing with everyone else.
Well, because guess what? It's really hard to put that on the social media post, right? So that's where you go and you get an endorsement or a testimonial from your client, and then you can put that in social media. I can't get into the nitty gritty of that just by posting something on LinkedIn. It doesn't work like that. That's why I said social media, it has its benefits, and you need to know what those benefits are. But really, at the end of the day, it's these types of conversations, Russell. But that's how I encourage people to build their business, is like one person at a time. So you could market yourself till you're blue in the face, but if you're not having valuable conversations about specific things that you're able to do, then, you're not going to know about it. So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's good. See, this has been every time we do one of these 6 times, we uncover something else, and I just uncovered that because a lot of, like I said, and I'm hoping that hotel people are looking at this, GMs or VPs or ownership or whatever, and they take heed to what you're saying, because a lot of these organizations don't know what they're doing when it comes to trying to get information to people. And that's why, like I said, a lot of things don't get done, because no one knows what the objective of this meeting is. Like I said, it's just a dog chasing their tail kind of thing. And a third party person is needed in some of these. I never really thought about that until you mentioned that, or until people keep, like I said, people keep telling me this stuff. I'm like, wow, that's really what's going on. And, so I just wanted to bring that up and see what your thought was.
So I'll throw this out there. So I have this philosophy that all problems come from poor communication. All problems in the world, in the workplace, in the personal space, it doesn't matter. It's because we are not taught how to communicate well. And I find this over and over and over. It's for business owners, it's for employees, it's for spouses, friendships, neighbors, all of that. We don't know how to articulate our emotions. We don't know how to communicate what it is we're trying to have come across to the other person. And so that's actually, when I say I do one-on-one coaching with people, it's really to help them know what it is that they're trying to say. Because a lot of times I'll have someone come to me and they'll say, well, I want to get a new job. I'm not sure my resume looks good. Can you look at it? But I actually don't really know what kind of job I want. So maybe I shouldn't coach with you. And I'm like, no. That's actually exactly the time that I need to coach with you, is because I will help you. I will go through a very specific process to uncover what it is that you don't know yet that you want to do, or whatever goal that it is that you want to attain that you haven't figured out yet. And we do it together. And that's how I coach people individually.
Very good. So you mapped out everything. So if no one understands what's going on, shame on them, right? Because you mapped out everything. You detailed everything. Only thing you need to do now is write a book. But wait a minute. You co-authored a book, right? You co-authored a book called The Art of Connection. What is that all about?
So it's actually a collaboration of entrepreneurs and business owners, Russell. It's a book series. It's called The Art of Connection. And there are multiple entrepreneurs who have provided quotes and basically insightful comments on particular topics related to business ownership. There's actually a 4th book coming out in January, which I'm a part of. So it's 365 days of quotes, as they call it. And you take a page a day, you read it. It's, basically topics that are important, that people are motivated by or interested in. And so I've been a part of that for several years now. And so the next thing, yes, I need to write my own book. That is definitely on the horizon. I haven't quite figured that out yet. But yes, it's a really cool book series. It's you said something which I think is so important, is that when you're an entrepreneur or business owner, you feel like you're isolated and alone, and you don't realize that your whole crew is out there, right? Your crew is out there and they're experiencing the same things, and their expertise might be in something else. So if you can collaborate together, which is what this book series is a collaboration, it really has a lot more impact in the business space. Yeah.
I think it's all about collaboration. You said it right. Gosh, you know what? We're like 1 minute away, like 1:59. So this is perfect, right? So it's been a great conversation. A lot of meat in this conversation, right? Not just the condiments and the bread, but the meat of it. Okay, so this is a good thing. So no, you guys, if you guys are just tuning in, make sure you go back and listen to this conversation, because I think it's great, especially entrepreneurism. If say you even work for someone and maybe you're having some issues with maybe focusing on getting things across to your team, things like that, or maybe your hotel or your business or whatever is out of alignment and you need somebody to snap it back into alignment. And I think Michelle Carlin would be that person to do. As you can see, and Michelle can't see this, but the ticker's been going on all show with her information on there, who she is, what her company name is, as well as her website. So make sure if you have any questions at all, go to the website and email her. I know her email is on there, and I'm sure the phone number is on there as well. But email her and just, or however you want to communicate with her. She's you're on social media too. I know you're on LinkedIn. I'm
on Facebook and Instagram, more for my personal
okay,
benefit.
Well, we don't want to do that then. Okay, well,
no, we don't want to. No, that's fine. So, I still LinkedIn is best. Yeah.
So LinkedIn is best. Okay, so social media, use Michelle Carlin, Alignment Advising, and like I said, the information is right there. So, but thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate you coming on again for the 6th time. I mean, I know people appreciate you. I know I see a lot of people that have tuned in. I thank everybody for their comments. I thank like Lonnie Wolf and Robin Coleman and Paula C for making their comments. I do appreciate that. And just know that this is all about engagement. The show is all about engagement. Especially when I bring a guest on, feel free to make your comments, ask questions, because that's what it's all about. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, or maybe not an entrepreneur, you just want to gain some knowledge, and it's okay to ask those questions. And I'm going to put them on the screen so you can see them, so the whole world can see them. And then, because some people may have the same questions that you have, so you just never know. But thank you so much, Michelle Carlin. But I'm going to let parting words. Those are your parting words. So take it away.
My parting words? Well, you know what, Russell, I so appreciate the opportunity to be here. If anyone is feeling misaligned, which is out of balance, or feeling like they don't know what's next for them, whether it's in your business or as an individual, please contact me. I do offer 30 minutes of a discovery session so we can evaluate what's going on with you and how to move forwards and get you into alignment. Thank you.
There you go. Oh, thank you. Once again, thank you guys so much for joining. Remember, I do a daily check-in daily. It's called Daily Check-in with Russell of Hotels. I talk about everything under the sun, but it all has to do with basically in the hospitality industry, social media things, but how it relates to the hotel industry, hospitality industry, DMO industry, or whatever, tourism, or whatever have you. So, but thank you again. Once again, Michelle Carlin, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys have a great day, and we will see you soon. Peace.
Thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. Please tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. as we talk to other hospitality professionals. Your feedback is important to Russell. Feel free to email him at russell@russellofhotels.com with any questions or suggestions. Until next time, try not to be a person of success. Rather, become a person of great value.